Okay, here we have the transformations practice quiz. Hopefully you can see my document here as we're working through this. We're going to start with the point 4, 3. So I'm going to go over 4 of 3, right? That's my first point right there. We'll call this number 1. Actually, this is number 1. What I'm going to do is we're going to translate this to the right 3 and down 7. So I'm going to go right 3. And then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A translation is just a slide. That's all it is. Now I'm going to reflect it over the x-axis. The x-axis is here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it up. I could use tracing paper if I want to, but it's pretty easy because I just look to see, okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 steps away from the x-axis, this side. So if I were to flip that, it would end up being 4 steps away above it. So here, the point goes to here when I flip over the x-axis. To reflect over the y-axis, we're going to take it and we're going to flip it here, this way. So again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps away on this side. So if I flip it, it's going to end up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps away on this side. And that is point number 4 after the y-axis reflection. Now the next one, so this is 3, 4. The next one is to reflect over the line y equals x. So it's important to remember where that line is. Remember, that's the line that has a slope of 1 and a y-intercept of 0. So I'm going to put my point right here at 0. I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, so that this is an exact line of y equals x. If I just guesstimate this, it's going to create problems. Now I'm going to take my tracing paper. I'm just going to go right over here. I'm going to draw my axis. I always draw my axis. I'm going to draw the x-axis too. Here's the line I just drew, and I should be able to get it pretty well. And then here's point 4, okay? And I'm going to reflect this over this line, which means I'm going to flip. I'm going to line up over this line. I'm going to also line up my axis again, and there's my new point. It is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know I need the same kind of numbers. So this one was -7, 4. So I need something with 4s and 7s. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down to -7. This is my 5th point. Now I'll reflect over the line y equals -x. Negative x has a slope of -1. So it's just going to go this way instead of this way. That might be backwards for you, but the way I'm looking at it. So again, I'm going to draw that line y equals -x. Right through here, it has a slope of -1. And I'm going to draw that line to try to connect those dots really nicely. And again, I want to be perfect. Now, as I look at this point, I see that this point is like 1.5 steps away from that line. So if I flip it over, it should be about 1.5 steps away over here too. I'm going to set up my line. Oh, I'll just use this. Here's my new point right there. I'm going to reflect over that line, and look, it lands right back here, right where I was earlier. So this is also going to be now my new point 6. Reflecting over the line y equals -3. Well, that means when the height is -3. That's this line right here, 1, 2, 3. Here's my line y equals -3. I got my axis. Here's my point. I'm reflecting it over this line. So I need to make sure that this line is back in the middle. When I flip, really what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line up that line right like so, and there's my reflection. So it was 1 below the line. Now it'll end up 1 above the line. Right there. There's my new point 7. Okay? Reflecting over the line x equals 1. Well, here's where x is 1. It's right here, straight up and down. This is the line x equals 1. I'm going to get some new tracing paper here. So here's my axis that I line up. Here's the line x equals 1. And here's my point. So if I reflect it, I'm going to spin it around this line, x equals 1. And I just want to make sure that my height is lined up. My axis won't be perfect, but my line, my x equals 1 line should be the same, and my x-axis should be the same, so it's the right height. And here we go. We're going to end up with my point way over here. And look, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps away. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps away from my line. So when I flip it over that line, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps away from my line over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps away from my line. Here's my number 8. Rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, so here's my point. Let's use this as my axis. 1 and 2. And here's my point. I'm going to go 90 degrees counterclockwise. Counterclockwise goes this way, so I just simply rotate. Here's my new point right over here. So this is point number 9. Then I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. So I'm going to take my point, 180. Here's 90. Here's 180. And it does not matter which way I turn it, because really it's going halfway around either way that I go. And then 270 counterclockwise, I'm going to go back and through. 3 times around is 270. And that is right here. So this is my final landing spot, number 11. And you can see that going 270 in this direction is really the same thing as going 90 in that direction. And what will happen is that we're going to end up making a 90-degree angle with the middle. We've formed basically a right triangle here by taking it 90 degrees. And that's the same as going 270 the other direction.